All right, so welcome to the first masterclass, you guys. This is all about how to set up your nutrition optimally in the Phorm app in order to, reach the goal that you want to, whether that is lose body fat, which is the majority of people, but maybe we want to maintain and just find an overall health goal. Maybe we're trying to gain muscle tissue. We're going to cover all those different things and why we're going to set things up different ways right here, right now. It won't take too long to get through, but obviously, if you run into any questions when you're setting up your app, please reach out to me and Team NH Fit anytime. Happy to help with whatever you guys need. Now, with any luck, I'm going to share my screen to the computer and hopefully it goes through so you all can see my phone. So give me just a moment to make that happen. We are set. Okay, so now as far as your nutrition setup in the app, so what I want you to focus on when we are opening this up, of course, it's taking forever to load now that we're doing this. What we're going to do is go to the menu, which is the three dots in the lower right, and then we're going to go to the one that says nutrition with a spoon and a knife there. So we'll tap that. And then it'll bring us to this page. Now, everybody's page here is going to look different based on the individual. So when my macros, they're going to look much different than your macros because we are different people. So don't ever look at mine or someone else's and think that we should be using someone else's because they have they have the body or the goals that you want or anything like that. So when we go to look at this, the first thing that I want you to see is that big blue customize button. Okay. I don't want you to hit the customize macros button unless we have talked first, because what often happens is people will put in their goals as we chat about and like we'll talk about right now, and they'll look at their calorie goals and their macro goals and say, oh my God, Nikki's crazy. We are never going to reach goals that we have eating that much. They go in, they customize things, and then all of a sudden they're eating like 1,000 calories a day, which let me tell you is not how we do things here. So please, unless we have talked first, do not touch the customize macros big blue button there at the top. That is between coach and you individually. We can set those up appropriately as we start to hit goals based on how you're feeling. So that's the first thing. Next thing, the first thing that you're going to see is there's actually 3 different plans. So this is the calorie and macro counting plan. There's 2 other ones. So calorie and macro counting is going to be the one that most people are going to utilize. However, or the reason being is because it's the most versatile and flexible. It's most lifestyle friendly. We can search for menus in here to bring up foods. We can create our own foods. We can scan barcodes, all of those things. It just makes it a very sustainable option. So that's why calorie and macro counting is going to be the thing for most people to attack. Now, the meal plan one, that one is going to be where it's still macro based, but you don't get to just scan whatever food in that you want and make it fit into your day. You have to choose from the foods that they have pre-listed in there, and then you eat the amount of foods that it is telling you to eat. So if you choose ground beef, sweet potatoes, and asparagus for your meal, it will tell you how much ground beef to make, how much sweet potatoes to make, and how much asparagus to make in order to hit your goals. It's very much more user-friendly in a way if you just want to be told what to do. If you don't care about what you're having, you don't want to have a whole lot of say in what you're making or having, you just want to choose the foods that you kind of like out of the list, then you can use that and it will work. That is really good for like an intermediate type person that's not quite ready to take full control. The other one is portion control, which is really, really good for 2 different types of people, for our very beginners and for our people that are kind of on cruise control that have already hit their goals. So portion control is going to be where it really teaches you how to fill your plate. It's going to say to have about, X amount of protein, X amount of fats, X amount of carbs and veggies per meal and snack. So that way you can make a lot of progress that way. It's really, really good for beginners, like I said, but everybody's eyes kind of judge the amount of foods a little bit differently. So unless you are experienced, it's not going to be great to go on that. Unless you are experienced, you know what serving sizes kind of look like, or if you're a true beginner and you're really just trying to choose healthier foods, that's going to be one end of the spectrum or the other for that one. If you have questions on those plans, reach out, let me know. Now, as far as the next pieces of your nutrition setup, we have our remaining calories tab. So remaining calories here, we can choose both, or we can choose carbs, or we can choose fats. This is going to be a really, really big, important piece for certain individuals. So the majority of people, I will say, choose both, because the beauty of having both chosen is you get to have the best of both worlds. You can enjoy sweet potatoes and strawberries and fruits and a couple of the fun things like pretzels and chocolates and stuff, just as much as you can enjoy avocados and peanut butters and nuts and seeds, right? You can enjoy the best of both worlds when you have both fats and carbs chosen for your remaining calories. But if you are someone that struggles with a gallbladder being removed within the last 2 years, then we're going to want to choose carbs as our setting for remainder of calories, because that'll move your fats to about 40 grams per day, or for men, it'll be 50 grams per day. But with that, that's going to help your body be able to digest and utilize the fats that it can. But without that gallbladder and a fresh gallbladder removal, your body's going to struggle to digest those fats appropriately. So if you've lost that gallbladder in the last 2 years, we're going to want to choose carbs as your setting. Now, for other people, which is many of the people I end up working with, we end up choosing fats as your setting, at least for a while. And here's going to be the cases where this happens is if you have ever been told that you struggle with insulin resistance, which we'll go over some of those signs for that. If you've ever been diagnosed with PCOS, endometriosis, or diabetes, that's going to be things that we would want to prioritize fats over carbs for. And primarily because your body just does not utilize carbohydrates appropriately. So we really want to make sure that we're taking in the higher quality fats and your proteins, and we'll hit carbs with higher quality carbs, but it's going to be more fruits, vegetables, fiber-rich options. And that's going to help your body learn how to use carbohydrates more appropriately again. Or if you have one of those conditions like PCOS or endometriosis, then we may be, in the situation where we are going to be lower carb for life on the day in and day out, just because your body does not utilize carbohydrates correctly. So once again, if you struggle with PCOS, endometriosis, or diabetes, reach out. We can set you up appropriately, but you're going to want to prefer those fats. Now, insulin resistance. A lot of people don't know if they have insulin resistance, but the telltale signs are if you look at a picture of your body, and this is why progress pictures are super helpful for me, is if your limbs, like your arms and your legs, are kind of lean, they're kind of the skinnier parts of you, but you carry most of your body fat around your middle, that is going to be a sign of insulin resistance. And what that kind of means is that your body has taken in so many carbohydrates for so long, or we had a really high stress lifestyle, or we've done a lot of yo-yo dieting for a long time. And by taking in a lot of carbs, I mean like ice creams, cookies, cakes, sodas, fast foods, that kind of stuff. If we've done those things for a long time and you feel like a lot of your body fat is right here around your trunk, then that is a very, very telltale sign that we are probably struggling with a bit of insulin resistance. But the beauty is that insulin resistance is typically reversible with appropriate nutrition over a period of time, and then we can even it back out later on. So if you feel like that's you, then we can certainly talk through that together. But if you feel like you're pretty evenly dispersed as far as body fat goes, then we can definitely choose both and we can go on with life that way. So that's how that looks. As far as plan options go, so the goal, a lot of people get kind of confused here sometimes. So primarily lose body fat is going to be the majority of people I end up working with in here. We do have some maintains and gain lean muscles, right? Right now I'm gaining lean muscle, which is a whole new world for me. But as far as losing body fat goes, if you are not to a body composition that you are happy with and you still have body fat that you want to lose, I would suggest being in the lose body fat section, at least for now, and getting to a body composition that you're happy with, because we're going to work on maintaining that muscle tissue while you're losing the body fat. Then once we've reached a body composition you're happy with, then we can certainly switch and start bumping things up to a maintenance or gain lean muscle goal. But what happens so often is people get in here and they're super excited because they want to be muscular, want to be lean, they want to have all the muscle tone, so they think they want to gain lean muscle. But if we're in gain lean muscle, that means that you should be expecting the scale to go up. And the likelihood of gaining lean muscle and losing body fat at the same time is going to be very, very difficult to maneuver. Is it possible? Yes. Is it typical? No. So I would really, really suggest that we lose the body fat first, get to a body composition we are happy with, then we bump to a maintenance goal, then we bump to a gain lean muscle goal. And in that gain lean muscle phase, that is where we get to start to expect the scale to go up a little bit at a time. And we're going to try and do most of that with muscle tissue, but it's nearly impossible to gain muscle without a little bit of fat, but we'll try and limit that fat gain, right? So that's the big goal there. So that's kind of how that looks. So make sure that you have your goal set appropriately, because this is going to help determine your overall caloric goal moving forward. Now, the last piece is also really, really helpful to help with setting your overall macro goals to get started. So sedentary. This is what most people are going to be. Okay. Like I typically will do like a CrossFit workout in the morning, which I vary in and out of that depending on the week, but CrossFit training in the morning, and then I go for a couple of short walks during the day. But other than that, I am parked right here in front of my computer screen helping all of you, right? So if you are getting some intentional movement in, but most of your day is still spent sitting, you're probably going to be in that sedentary category. Now, if you are crushing a workout and then you happen to have a job where you're up on your feet all day, like a nurse, a teacher, a daycare provider, something like that, then yes, lightly active is totally your role. That's perfect. We can definitely make that your setting. It's just going to bump those calories up a smidge overall to help account for that extra activity that you have. Very active is going to be reserved for my people that are like marathon training. That's going to be for my people that are doing a workout and then they have a labor intensive job, like a roofer or a landscaper, farmers, those kinds of people that are really up and at it all day, picking up heavy things, moving stuff, all of those things. So that's how we can really justify the different levels of activity. By marking yourself sedentary, it is by no means like a slap in the face. It's not the case. It is truth that most of us sit a lot. But the beauty of this program and how I help coach you is that we aim to get up more often and move more often throughout the day, which helps take away or helps even things out a little bit more. So being sedentary isn't a negative. It's just a reality of how most of our culture is. So don't look at it as a bad thing. So many people think that it's a bad thing. It's not. But that's going to be the basic setup. Okay. So like I said, your calories are going to adjust based on how you set up these initial goals. So once you have these initial goals down here under nutrition plan and under plan options set up, just how we talked through them, then once you go to your nutrition tab, then it will show you a calorie goal at the top each day and macro goal at the top each day that you should be aiming to reach every single day. Future calls this week are going to cover how to track really appropriately, how to build recipes and use those so you can make, your favorite cookies or your stews or soups or whatever and make them fit into your day. I have other ones that are going to go into the activity tab and everything else in between, primary goals to get started, everything. But for now, I just want to make sure that we have your settings set up appropriately. All right, guys. Well, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining the first masterclass. If you do come up with questions after seeing this, whether you are watching it on YouTube later, or if you are on here and you come up with questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I hope to see you on the remaining masterclasses later this week. Bye, everybody.